Hey guys, so I just wanted to put together a little video just going over basic measuring techniques for drawing the portrait. So this technique that I'm going to use is the same way that you can measure either from a photograph or from life. Some people use rulers or gridding or anything like that, and that's fine. It's just this particular way is going to make it easier for you to convert from drawing from life to drawing from a photograph. So the main thing is, how do we translate this size into this size? So if I wanted to take this image and make it bigger, how do I do that with keeping the proportions accurate? And so that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to show you. So when I have a blank piece of paper and I want to start my composition, what I need to do is figure out on my page, how big do I want the face to be? What's the composition that I want on my paper? So if I say that I want the head to, the top of the head there and the chin to end here, what I need to do from there is now make the container for the face. So if I look at her head, what I want to do is look at the contour, meaning the outside line, and just pick a shape. What simple shape is her head? Is it a circle, a square, a triangle, or an oval? Right off the bat, I'm going to call that an oval. Okay, so simple shape, I'm going to make an oval. Nothing special. And I'm using a vine charcoal because it's the easiest to just kind of smudge away. All right, so from there, what I need to do is figure out, where do the eyes sit on the face? So if I'm looking at from the top of the head here, all the way down to the chin, here is the eye line, right there, okay? So I asked myself, where is the eye line going horizontally? Where is it going in relation to the height, okay? So here, if I look at corner to corner of the eye, right in there, and just kind of imagine a line going across, and then I compare the top of the head to the eye line and come down, I can see that the eyes are lower than halfway, all right? So if you're drawing from a photo reference, you can get really technical, you can measure it, but what if I had a live model in front of me? I can't really do that. So what I would do is extend my hand and use my thumb and ask myself, okay, here's the top of the head and there's the eye line, and then bring it down and compare. So that just gives me an estimation of where do the eyes sit on the head. So I know that the eyes are lower than halfway. So if I just kind of imagine that same little chart on the side, I can say, I'm just going to kind of invent an eye line, just take a guess. And from there, then I can compare the top of the head to the eye line and come down. So the eyes should be lower than halfway, meaning that this space should be less than this space, okay? And I'm going to double and triple check just to kind of make sure. So it's kind of significant, the space that's left over. On the one that I've drawn, it's not so much. So I think I want to lower that line just a little. Sometimes you get lucky and you get it right away, but don't make that your goal. You have to kind of start somewhere, and then you can figure out if it's too high or too low, all right? If you don't get it right the first time, no big deal. All right, so there's the eye line. So now, where is the nose line? So I always end up going from the septum, which is the pointy part. So if I did the same thing, here's the bottom of the septum and come right over. If I make this little chart over here saying this is the eye line, this is the nose line, where is the nose? I'm sorry, this is the eye line, this is the chin line, where's the nose? So this space right here is shorter than this space. So that means that the bottom part of the nose is higher than halfway in between the eyes and the chin. So again, I'm going to guess. So if I just guess right here, then I can compare and I can say the eye line to the nose line is that big. How big is this? So this space here is a little bit shorter than this space here, But I think if I want to make it a little more accurate, I'm going to raise it just a little bit. It was a little too close to halfway. So there I have that space, and I'm coming down. So I have this little bit of remainder. So that's what I want. So this line is going to represent the bottom tip of the nose, and this is the corner of the eyes. So from there, I need to ask myself, where do the lips go? My little trick is I always go from the bottom of the bottom lip. More often than not, that's right in between the nose and the chin. So I'm going to label this eyes, this nose, this chin, and this is going to be the bottom lip. All right. So majority of times, but I don't want to say always because everybody's different, the bottom of the bottom lip is halfway between the septum and the chin. So if I come over here and I find, if I make a little mark and I just guess, and I go from the nose to that line and then come down, that should give me, that should be right about halfway. So lucky guess, there's the bottom of the bottom lip. Now that I have the eyes, nose, and mouth, how do I know where to put everything? How do I know what size to make everything? So from here, I like to start with the nose because the nose is kind of the anchor of the face. So noses are not as intimidating as they seem. If we break them down into 3 circles, so if you can imagine a circle right in here, and then 2 on the side, 1, 2, it's not so scary, okay? Then I also want to look and see where's the top of that circle in comparison over there. Usually the top of the circle comes halfway in between the eye, corner of the eye, and the tip of the nose. All right, so I'm just gonna start with a guess. I'm gonna start with 3 circles. I'm gonna guess the size. The only thing I know is not to come past this mark here because that I've already measured is the bottom of the septum. So if I take this and do a circle, and I know that that circle should be about half the height of this space, then I want to make 2 little circles there. So it's just my guess. Now I need to figure out how wide is that nose going to be. So if I look over here and I measure the width of the nose and then come across, how many times can I come across? So I'm getting about 1 time, and so a little bit more than 1 nose across that way. And then I'm gonna look at the other side too before I move on. So I've got a little bit more on this side, so maybe about 1.5 noses on this side. So if I come over here and I measure the nose, I should have 1 and a little bit more than 1 nose over there. So because I just kind of started with an arbitrary oval, I can move that in a little bit. So if I come over here, I should have about 1.5, which that's pretty good. I don't want to make any significant changes to the oval because remember, I've already done my height, all these lines going height-wise, okay? So I don't really want to make a teeny tiny nose. Basically what you want to do is do the 3 circles for the nose, take the nose and measure how many going across, okay? So this is going to represent the side of my face, and so is this. Now, if I had done something where the nose was really small, then you would want to reevaluate and look to see if you need to make the nose bigger or smaller. So now I have the side of the face here and the side of the face here, and I'm going to stick with this shape of the nose. If you get this height about halfway in between eye and nose, you're good. All right. So now from there, I have that nose shape, and I can plug in the little nostrils. I can make it look more like her later, but what I want to do is really focus on just mapping out where all the features go. So at this point, if I look at from the corner of the eye to the edge of the nose, I want to make a line there, and I want to make a line here, and that's something I would use my pencil for. I also want to do the same here. So from corner of the eye to the edge of the nose, I want to make a line like so, and same way over here. Okay, so from there, I can take my charcoal and say from the nose going up, and the nose going out to the side. And I like to check this a few times because a lot of times it gets lost in translation. And this is how you would do it on the live model. You would sit there and you would make these little angles from a live model. So this tells me that the eye needs to go, here's the inside of the eye, there's the outside of the eye. We don't need these anymore. And I'm going to do the same thing for in here. So the nose to the inside of the eye, the nose to the outside of the eye. So nose to the outside of the eye. I'm going to double, triple check that. Nose to the inside of the eye. Okay, so that tells me where the eyes go. All right, now from there, I can also make a note on where the eyebrows go on both sides like so. So from here, this is telling me that my eyes are gonna go right in here. I'm just gonna draw football eyes right now, just so that you know that that's where the eyes go. I can go and make them look more like hers later. So that I'm gonna use this angle and this angle to mark the eyebrows, and then this angle and this angle here to mark the other side of the eyebrow. So that tells me that the eyebrows are going to start here and end here. All right. So notice I'm not trying to make her look like her yet. I'm just trying to figure out where things go. From there, I need to figure out where does the mouth go. So I look at from the edge of the nose and go to the mouth there, and same way there. So from the corner of the nose to the side of the mouth, I've got this. Corner of the nose to the side of the mouth, I've got this, okay? So if you leave those lines there, whoever you're drawing is gonna look a lot older than they really are. But this is going to tell you that this is the corner of the mouth. And this is the bottom of the mouth, so somewhere in between here and the septum, we need to figure out where do the lips go. So again, I'm just going to put in some little random lips and worry about it looking like her later. At least I know that this is where they go. And just to check, I can go from the eye to the side of the mouth, like so. On both sides, eye to the side of the mouth, check that, come over here, check that. So I feel good about what's happening. Oh, but see, look, I have a problem over here. I have a space. So I'm gonna check this again and come over here. So I have a big problem there. So that means I'm gonna double check my nose measurement. Oh yeah, so I need to bring that eye out. Okay, so a couple extra tricks. If you have done all this and you just still feel like something looks off, another few things that you can do is you can use one thing to compare to another. So you can compare the width of the nose to the width of the eye, all right, and ask yourself, all right, the nose is this wide, is the eye the same size? Okay, in this particular model, the eye is about the same width, so that space should be the same as this. From there, what you can do is check, so we've taken the nose and counted across to see how wide the face is. And so I'm just using my charcoal to find angles. And so I can do the same thing with the eye, where I can take the eye measurement, take it off, turn it vertically, and start measuring upward. So you might ask yourself, okay, so now I have a cone head, where do I put her hairline? So the easiest thing to do is what I would do is take the measurement of the eye and then go from the eyelid and start going vertically. And so you're gonna go up 1, 2, 3, so about 3 eyes. So if I were to take this measurement and turn it vertically and go from the corner of the eye and go up 1, 2, 3, That's gonna tell me, so that looks a little bit off because that's looking really small there, especially compared to that. So I might want to get in there and check again. So I'm gonna call it 1, 2. All right, so I'd say it's almost 3. Interesting. All right, so if I go here and I go 1, 2, 3. So I did end up getting a little lower that time. So it's just a matter of kind of double checking, especially when using this method because it's not super accurate. So you might have to check a few times. So that's telling me that this is going to be the hairline. So this is the hairline, and then this is the top of the head, and I can get a little fancy with the looseness of the hair up there. So next thing is I want to look at contour. So I want to look at the straightness here, straightness there. If I can kind of make things angular, they're easier to see. So over here, I'm getting an angle like so. Over here, I'm getting an angle like so, and that's going to come up to her hairline there. All right, from there I can go ahead and start adding the rest of her hair, and I can start making this look a little bit more like her. Now, other things I want to check are the angles in her chin. So she has a pretty pointy jaw. And then also if I look at the shape that's inside her chin, it's kind of like a little sideways egg. So if I look at here and kind of imagine a little sideways egg, that'll give me the roundness, and then I can compare the angles from that little egg shape. So this is telling me there, this is telling me there. So you can kind of see how I'm starting to get the contour as well as the positioning of everything. Another thing to look at real quick, and then I'll stop. This is the bendiest part of the jaw right here. So if I look at that part and come over horizontally, where is that in relationship to the mouth? It's kind of right in that corner of the mouth. So if I imagine the corner of the mouth is there and come over here, this is going to be that curve in the contour of the face. All right, so just troubleshooting a few problems you might have. If you look at it and you think that the chin is not long enough, take the eye measurement, take it off, and compare it going down. So if I take the eye, compare it going down, it's about 1 eye. So if I take the eye, take it off, compare it going down, I should get about 1 eye from the bottom of the bottom lip to the chin. You can also take the eye measurement and go sideways. So I'm getting, you should have a little bit more than half of an eye on that side, but always double check because people aren't always symmetrical, especially if the face shifts a little bit. So I know it doesn't look like much, but this is how you would begin the portrait. You would check your measurements, map it all out before you begin. Because if you go for it and start drawing a beautiful eye or a beautiful nose and then realize it's all in the wrong spot, you're gonna be really sad. So this is kind of that really awkward, ugly pre-planning stage that portraits have to go through. So hopefully that helps. And from there, that's when I would really start going in and trying to make it look a lot more like her. All right, hope that helps. Thanks.